Well, greetings everybody. Nicholas from Serbia again to you guys. Hope you liked my videos so far. Today's short review. Another Linux distribution. One more in a row. As I pointed out so far, you guys realize that I do reviews, short ones, about different Linux distributions, but in the last, let's say, 2 years, I have oriented myself primarily on two distributions, Gentoo based and Arch based. One of them that's Gentoo based is called Calculate Linux Desktop, comes to us from Russia, and the other one is based on Arch Linux, and it's called Manjaro or Manjaro. Specifically this one, let's type in welcome screen, no, Manjaro, hello. Okay, Manjaro hello says that this is Manjaro Linux codename Gilivara or Gilivara 17.0.6 stable with the LTS kernel. Now we're gonna check the kernel version. You can do that by opening the start menu and clicking this all settings icon, which will open up this xfce desktop settings manager. Right now, here in the Manjaro settings manager, you will see the list of available options, and we're going to click on this little penguin guy here that says kernel. It says here that we are running a long-term supported recommended kernel version 4.9.59-1. Now, practically, I'm really happy with this kernel. That's why I left it on the machine. On top of it, 4.11 is a real-time kernel, which probably is also running stable. And there's like 3 more experimental versions, which I'm not going to use to test. But on the other hand, we're going to talk about a little bit today about Manjaro Gilivara or Gilivara, and I'm going to show you a package management system on Manjaro. Now, all of us, or all of you guys who already read about Manjaro or Arch Linux, or maybe even tested it or used it, know that Arch Linux was not so, let's say, user-friendly, especially to newbies or new users who don't have advanced knowledge about compiling, about pros and cons, about do or don't do in Linux. Now, so far so good for me. This distribution has been on my PC side by side with the Russian Gentoo Calculate Linux. I use them in dual boot, and I'm using both of them, and Manjaro has its, has its ups and no downs so far. I haven't found any bug whatsoever. All the best to the people who are compiling this stuff and who are actually, building and making Manjaro. I mean, it's really user-friendly, especially the xfce desktop. I think this particular 64-bit edition with the xfce4 is really user-friendly and is also really an eye candy because it looks really nice. It can be customized to whatever you want. I mean, literally, Manjaro can be customized to whatever you want it to look like, to whatever you want it to feel like, Put in tons of different software that you use on day-to-day basis, or you want to experiment. It gives you the options, so there is no forbidden stuff, and that's the most important thing with Linux distribution. If you are an open-minded user of Linux desktop, probably most of you guys who are open-minded and want to give it a shot will find out that downloading an ISO of Manjaro Gilivara or Gilivara is not a difficult task at all, and also putting it on a USB, there's tons of different tutorials how to put a Linux on a USB and make it bootable. Second thing, as I said, very user-friendly. Now, regarding software installations, package management, maintenance, updates, etc., there is this good old, let's say like this, good old package manager and graphical user interface called Pac-man, right? Now, Pac-man also comes to you guys in a text-based variant, which you can use actually in your terminal or console. Type in a set of commands, blah blah blah, search for a package, update the package tree, update, pull the dependencies, install everything, etc, etc, etc. Now, in the package manager called Pac-man, a lovely option, graphical user interface, and now this was done actually even before. You can sort the official repositories by, let's say, like I set it up, using the mirrors. That's the default setting actually. From the worldwide, sort the mirrors by speed, and after that refresh the mirror list. It's going to set up the fastest mirrors, you know, from A to X or from A to Z or whatever, and you know chronologically, if you want to say it like this. Now, a very neat thing, you can enable AUR support, which means that you can pool resources for software and packages even from the ARC user repository. That's what the AUR stands for. It can also be set up to check for updates from AUR, but I don't experiment this far. However, when you enable this option, something like this happens. Let me show you. Let's say SM player, that we want to look for the SM player. Now, when the Manjaro starts to look for a package, first couple of results are going to pop out that are regarded and closely tied to the official repositories of Manjaro, right? But then, if you want to experiment a little more or get something more bleeding edge, or if you feel that this is not enough, click on the AUR on the left side. Now you will get tons of different results. Usually the ARC user repository holds double or triple number of results for the specific software search that you entered. Exit the Pac-man. Now, the second graphical user interface that is also really nice and well done, and maybe some users find it more user-friendly than Pac-man, is called Octopi or Octopi, whatever. Let's click on that and open Octopi. Now, same thing here. There's a category or a tab for searching the packages. There is the categories or groups of software that you have online on the official repositories, and a lot of different options. Let's click the About. The version is 0.8.8.5-1, depends on the Qt 5.9.0. Now, for me, I can use both of them. I mean, I get along with them just fine. There's tons of options. You know, you can search by name, by description, by file. Check the packages, all of them, or installed or not installed, or by the repository. You can see Core, Extra, Community, Multilib, or ARC user repository, as we enable them in our system live. Right. And the third one that comes, let's say, 50-50 with the graphical user interface is actually a text-based console, a little more simplified. Yaourt GUI or Yaourt GUI. It says Yaourt GUI is version 1.4. It's a bash graphical user interface for Yaourt. Now, you also have a set of options here, and you just type in the number. Let's say if you type in 1, it says sync the database. Hit enter. It's going to ask for a sudo password, and when you type it in, hit enter, it's going to sync the database. Now, you can use Yaourt to update the system, update in the force mode, install packages specifically if you know the name of the package, remove them, update them, remove the dependencies, probably those that are unnecessary, search for a package, search and install, command that tells it belongs to a file. 11 is information of the packages. 12 to clear the cache. Now this is a nice little option. 12 clear the cache. Type in number 12, hit enter. It's going to ask for a confirmation, and then you are able to clear the cache and it's not going to get stuck on your hard drive, right? This is really nice. I mean, not all of the distributions offer this option, and I think this is one more of the advantage for Arch Linux and Manjaro, right? You can upgrade the Pac-man's database, you can optimize the Pac-man, you can view statistics and blah 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 blah. You can set up the proxy, edit the Pac-man configuration file or Yart configuration file, blah blah blah. And then there is this, of course, letter Q to quit, enter, confirm with yes, and that's it. Now, or you can just copy paste. Sorry guys, my cell phone dropped. Copy paste the commands, set of commands from the internet or official Manjaro site, or if you know what you're doing, you can just open up a terminal, type su, type in your root password, and then start to use Pac-man, right? This one is actually mostly preferred in between Arch users, general Arch users that use AUR, because, in Linux they say that if you know your Bible, your set of commands in the terminal or console, then you are a god. And actually it is like that. In this operating environment, you are a god to your own computer. You do whatever you want, and you make it do whatever you want, not what somebody else wants, right? All but something bad for Manjaro. I wanted to say that everything of the best actually for Manjaro, because it's really a nice distribution. It's working really stable. Everything is bleeding edge. It's a rolling release, guys, which means that every time you get an update or offer from your package manager to install a set of updates, some packages need to be updated, etc., etc. Let's check it down here. For example, it says your system is up to date, but actually if there are some updates, a pop-up will come that says you have, for example, 25 packages to update, and the total amount of download is going to be 59 megabytes or something, whatever. I can say that package management is really well organized, and the compression level of the packages, because they are compiling from the source, is on a stunning level. Really, you are downloading a small number of megabytes from the internet, and you're getting a lot live. Now, as I said, so far no bugs. I really haven't discovered any bug whatsoever. Even I managed to install proprietary drivers and to boot. Actually, when I installed Manjaro, it gave out an option to boot with a set of non-free drivers, which are actually for my specific card, NVIDIA, and it stayed like this even after the installation. They just updated themselves. Right. Same thing for AMD Radeon, guys. When you go inside the settings manager and you open up Manjaro settings manager, you will find the option that says hardware configuration. When you open this, AMD Radeon graphics, guys, which have R9 version, any R9 version of the graphics GPU from the AMD, they will have an option here also. It says automatically install proprietary driver. Now, after you have installed your system, your Manjaro, you did a little bit of customization, you have installed a set of updates officially offered from the official repositories, right? From the Manjaro guys themselves. And then after the first reboot, if you're not happy with the free driver, then you can install your AMD Catalyst or NVIDIA Catalyst or settings manager. And voila, it's that easy. Just one simple click, confirm with your sudo password, and that's it. Let the Manjaro handle everything. After this, give it a reboot, And hopefully in most of the cases, 99.9% of the cases, everything goes well. You end up with the non-free proprietary driver. Now let's give it a shot to see how this looks. For my card, it would be NVIDIA-settings or /settings. I can never tell which of those things is which, dash or slash. You know that Fat Boy Slim song, /.dash./.dash. And it looks like this. Now I can pick up tons of information about my Linux, about my driver version. It says 384.90 on my PC, server version number, Xarc Foundation, blah 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 blah, NV control version 1.29. Now this is the display information. Haven't set up anything yet. This is all factory. I'm happy with this resolution, really. I have 25-inch monitor and it's working flawlessly, even over the VGA port. Maybe I can get some sort of HDMI resolution, but who cares? This is more than enough. A lot more informations and settings. Let's give it an option for CVT VGA. You can set up the quality. Let's set it up for high quality. OpenGL or GLX information, all of your graphics information, what's supported, what is not supported, what has been set up in what way, etc, etc, support, whatever your graphics card can push out, you can read about it and get information here. Anti-aliasing settings, okay, VDPAU information about your surface limits, about your decoder limits, video mixer, etc, and base information. Now the information about your graphics card. I'm not running anything strong. This is GeForce GT 520 and actually I'm happy with it. I'm not an advanced gamer and this is working really nice for my needs. You can also read your thermal settings. We can see here that it's 53 degrees Celsius, your power miser settings for your overclocking and stuff, you know. And that's pretty much it. This was just a small presentation. In the package management, let's go back to that one. Every single one of you guys who has tried Linux distributions so far, and maybe some of you know already the names of the specific packages of software or programs that you like to use or like to have in your distribution, trust me, 99% is on the Manjaro repositories, or some of it is on the AUR repositories. If you cannot find it in the first one, search for it in the second one. Give it a shot. You will find a lot of things that you need. Let's give an example. I don't like Firefox or Opera or any other browser besides Chromium. So I installed Chromium and it was there by default in the Manjaro repositories. Second thing, for a torrent or BitTorrent client, I like to use qBitTorrent, which is really nice, user-friendly piece of software. Here we go. This is qBitTorrent. Looks really alike like MeTorrent or whatever it's called, uTorrent, MeTorrent. Okay, and there is the version. It's 64-bit package. It's working really stable and really nice. Has tons of options for settings. I mean, check this out. Maybe even more than the default Windows client for torrents, right? There is also one more similar on Linux distributions, you know, distributions wide. It's called Deluge or Deluge, whatever. I said both of the times actually the same. Couple more things that I installed is the Conky Manager, the graphical user interface for this nice little system monitor that we're running here in the background. You see this CPU statistics here and the time, date, which day it is, etc. You can set it up in different themes, and look, there's tons of themes online. So you can make your desktop xfce4 looking really nice and eye candy. And oh, one more thing in Manjaro, the file manager by default in xfce is Thunar 1.6.12 in this specific version, and it's working really nice. A lot of you guys have, you know, get in the habit of using the good old Windows Explorer, so this is going to come really in handy if you like to use, you know, like dragging and dropping, right-clicking, opening two of those windows. I like to use Double Commander, which is also in a lot of Linux distributions by default, and it's a Total Commander clone, free but full of options. Check out the configuration tree. I mean, look at this. You can set it up the way you want it to work and look, and it's not going to hurt anybody. It's working the same way the Total Commander works under Windows, even faster. Check out the RAM pool, guys. RAM 654, 660 megabytes out of 6 gigs of RAM, which I have on this machine, and running Conky, all of the major and fundamental system services, plus GUVC View for monitoring my web camera, so you guys can see me while I'm doing this live session recording with a simple screen recorder, which is also running in the background. All of this together, in Manjaro on my machine is spending what, 660 megabytes of RAM, which is really a low RAM pool compared to Windows 10 64-bit, which would probably eat up at least half of my RAM, even more, if I would be doing the same things which I'm doing here. Now, when you compare those two operating systems, when you check out the RAM pool, which is nowadays still really important for some people, voila. There's no need to talk about anything else here. Okay, if some of you guys have questions, you can post them or leave them in the comments. There's also my email address. You can contact me over Gmail, over YouTube, whatever. You can find me even on Facebook, just type in some normal message and I will answer it probably. Best regards for you guys from Serbia, whoever is watching my videos. I know that some of them are really short, some of them even have lousy audio or something, but hey, it's all the time testing different Linux distributions and I cannot set up everything exactly the same. I'm using the same PC, I just upgraded it a little bit. Actually, the last upgrade was an SSD hard drive, only 120 gigabytes in size, but it's actually a Kingston HyperX Fury SSD, 120 gigs, but with a really fast response, and I'm dual booting 2 Linux distributions on this little fellow, and it's working flawlessly. I mean, every time I try to set up or test some new Linux distribution, the installation goes like this. Okay guys, thumbs up for Manjaro and Arch Linux. Guys, you're doing great job. I mean, keep up the good work. When I have time, I'm going to try to get Manjaro to a normal, average, everyday user. I really would like to hear that this thing is getting more and more widespread over the globe, in between people, normal people who want to use their computer resources the way they want, not the way Simon said. Stay cool. As I said, if you like the videos, I'm not making any money from them, so thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever. Some of you guys probably won't like my videos. A lot of you guys maybe will like my videos. Anyways, I'm happy. I'm doing this because I enjoy Linux. I'm happy that it exists, especially Arc and Gentoo. Best regards for my brothers from Russia, the same. Stay cool until the next video, guys. Ciao ciao from Nicholas.